Hello, Nigeria. Welcome to Newsline. I am Becky Madujemo. Thanks for joining us. It's convocation season, and we have highlights of some of the ceremonies that saw a couple of geniuses receiving multiple awards. It's also the last quarter of the year, and you can expect that individuals and organizations will be celebrating milestones, achievements, and of course, love. Tonight, we have a roll call of traditional festivities and corporate events, including weddings. We also intend to report on the consequences of flooding and environmental anomalies in certain regions of the country, even as we update you on the latest about the inmates of a detention camp who were taken into custody by the police in Kwara State. There's more to what I just listed, but you need to wait to watch everything after the day's news by Claire Adelabu Abdurazak. It's been ages, Claire.
Becky. And President Muhammadu Buhari has congratulated the President of African Development Bank, AFDB, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, the Board of Governors and members of staff, on the historic increase of its capital from $93 billion to $208 billion, placing the multilateral institution on a stronger pedestal to drive growth and development on the continent. In a statement by the Special Advisor to the President, Media Publicity Femi Adesina, President Buhari joins shareholders of the bank and African head of state and government to celebrate the feat, which demonstrates the quality of leadership at the helm of affairs and the technical expertise that has been steadily pushing reforms for a smart and dexterous institution focused on alleviating poverty. With the historic approval of $115 billion by the Board of Governors, which will sustain the bank's operations and reach, the President extols Dr. Adesina for brilliantly and diligently taking the AFDB to new heights and inspiring confidence that indeed the Sustainable Development Goals SDGs and the African Union Agenda 2063 are realizable. And the federal government is set to confront anyone instituting legal action to delay the takeoff of the Ajaokuta Steel Company. Minister of Mines and State Development Olamilekan Adigbite stated this during an inspection of the facility in Kogi State. Here is me with the rest of this story.
Welcome to the expected headquarters of Nigeria's industrialization, the Ajaokuta Steel Company. For 40 years, the company is sitting on these 24,000 acres of land in Kogi State, still keeping dreams alive of producing 1.3 million tons of steel per annum. This signature project, initiated by former President Shehu Shagari in 1979, is still a journey, and the footprints of the former Soviet Union, now Russia, are still stark reminders of technology at its best. So, when the invitation of Russia-Africa Summit was extended to Nigeria, expectations of Ajaokuta being part of the document in President Buhari's portfolio were high. Surely, expectations came to pass.
Mr. President discussed with President Putin on Ajaokuta Steel.
We have a promise, especially from the President of the Russian Federation, that Russia is willing to come in, and of course Ajaokuta will work before Mr. President completes this second term.
A firm promise for a firm takeoff, but there are firm legal battles, legal issues over concession. But the man in charge of the steel ministry, who just had a check on the Ajaokuta steel plant, says federal government cannot be intimidated on this move.
The so-called modification concession agreement does not make sense. If you give the soul of Ajaokuta to place in another hands and want Ajaokuta to function, then we are wasting our time. Ajaokuta and Itape will stay in government hands and will produce to the benefit of the people of Nigeria. No matter whose ox is God. They are preparing to go back to some courts abroad to embarrass Nigeria. But I'm sure the country is capable of meeting them at those points. And we will not surrender our sovereignty to some individuals.
How this project will be financed?
The Russians will come in with funding from African Bank and Russian Export Center, and of course to complete Ajaokuta and make it functional.
Engines that are still alive at the Ajaokuta Steel Company are on test run, while workers keeping the tools severed because the ray of hope is quite shining. Mia Ogidi, NT News.
Let's turn our attention now to legislative matters. And Majority Leader in the House of Representatives, Hassan Ado Dogowa, leads an advocacy engagement with a group of educationists from the United Kingdom on the process that will enable students at the grassroots to realize their potentials. The idea is for Nigeria to bridge the educational gap through the numeracy knowledge, which is key to science and technical education. Here is National Assembly correspondent Abdullahi with the rest of the story.
Addressing issues affecting Nigeria's learning process, especially basic education, is the crux of the meeting. They include little concern to mathematics as a key subject and its phobia, proper attention to students who have talents but are not getting the required educational certificate, and provision of adequate educational materials to improve students' sense of reasoning.
We want a Nigeria that no one can say, I'm not employed. No.
I will be looking forward to more of this engagement in the future. It's a very good advocacy that I think parliamentarians will be interested about.
Meanwhile, the House Committee on Insurance and Budget Defense seeks more explanation on the lack of confidence in the Nigerian insurance business.
I encourage members of the public that they should report any complaints, people who are unable to live up to their claims obligation.
We have now developed a database that is central and common to all insurance companies.
We can then tie our NID to the CMR. There can be a central enforcement by the police. We are not going to declare that we are a repository of knowledge when it comes to insurance. We can hire all the machineries and resources, both intellectual and material, to make sure we drive the process.
Suggestions by committee members are on the need to ensure proper administration of the insurance law for Nigerians to be adequately covered as far as insurance process is concerned. From the National Assembly, Abdullahi Aminu, NTA News.
And achieving a well-structured and resourceful legislature that will drive vibrant democracy is possible. That if the management of the National Assembly close ranks with other key players for the good of the society. Now, that was the focus of the retreat of the management of the National Assembly and the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies held in Uyo, the Akwa Ibom State capital. Clement Barakwi reports.
Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies and the management of the National Assembly essentially work together to strengthen legislature in pursuit of the ideals of democratic governance in the country. This, however, seems to have been misrepresented, leading to unnecessary rivalry between the two institutions over the years. This gathering is therefore to address this in order to enhance the processes of lawmaking in line with democratic principles.
The need for the two organizations to operate in unison in order to create a much needed conducive atmosphere for a robust performance of the Nigerian legislature need no further emphasis.
In my opinion, a harmonious and productive working relationship between the Institute and national management is the only way in which NILS can better serve the legislature at the national level.
Lawmakers and other stakeholders agreed that synergy between relevant supporting institutions is key to a vibrant legislature.
NILS also continue to make impact and immensely benefited members of the great National Assembly and other legislatures in Africa.
Let me commend you for the great job you are doing in helping to deepen our democratic ethos and culture.
The two-day retreat had as its theme improving synergy between the National Institute for Legislative and Democratic Studies and National Assembly Management for efficient service delivery. In Uyo, Clement Barakui, NTA News.
And as economies in Sub-Saharan Africa work towards harmonization of standards and promotion of trade within the region, Nigerian entrepreneurs are advocating flexible financial policies to enable them compete favorably in the global market. This was their message to the government during the 2019 GEM Expo here in Abuja. Elizabeth Moro reports that Vice President Yemi Osinbajo was represented by the Minister of State Labor, Festus Yamo at the exhibition.
And Chukunon Osakwe among Nigerian entrepreneurs added value to the economy. Their works are visible in diverse areas of the non-oil sector, specifically entertainment, ICT, fashion, hospitality, manufacturing, and construction. Mary and Chukunonso shared their experiences and motivation for the non-oil sector.
I'm an architect by profession, and then I'm in the business of interior design. And during the course of my business, when I take some very specific furniture designs to furniture makers to make it for me, they always tell me, madam, this thing, if you work. And I know it's possible to do it. So I started down to construct these things myself.
The intention is to get Nigerians to believe in manufacturing locally, because we can't keep importing everything.
For Mary and Chukunonso, the journey hasn't been a bed of roses. Both of them had to confront a common hurdle. Fortunately, these are challenges that Minister of State, Labour and Employment, Festus Keyamo, says can be addressed.
Increasing the funds available to the Bank of Industry to make funds available to the MSMEs. The federal government is already talking to some commercial banks to make small loans available as single digits.
The next steps would be is to make it easier for them to export and make it easier for them to repatriate their funds. One other thing that I've seen, with the exhibition, it's they will also need a lot of communication strategies for Nigerians to be aware that these products are there, so they do not have to go outside the country to import.
The recent ranking of Nigeria on the World Bank's 2020 Business Index provides a good platform for Chukunonso, Mary, and others like them to be hopeful that someday micro, small, and medium enterprises will get the desired attention and recognition. Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
Very enterprising indeed. Now, the Minister of State, FCT, Ramatu Tijani Aliyu, has pledged the FCT's administration's commitment to protecting women in the nation's capital from any form of abuse. Now, the Minister was speaking in a meeting with the management of the National Agency for the Prohibition of Trafficking in Persons on the Katsa visit. Ifeanyi Izumba was there.
Minister of State FCT Ramatu Tijani Aliyu, who is a crusader of women empowerment, advised that women engage in meaningful ventures with a view to bridging the gender gap in the society. Also stressed that the FCT administration was already in partnership with the National Agency for the Protection of Trafficking in Persons and other relevant government agencies to curb the menace of child abuse.
We do have centers in Bali, in Nyanya, in Guapo, and so on, that we even in Kuje, and we are willing to partner with NAPTIP.
The Director General NAPTIP, Julio K. Only, acknowledged the efforts of the Federal Capital Territory in the protection of women's rights.
All we need to do now is to work together, to collaborate, to synergize, and to strategize. And I believe that both agencies coming together, with the FCT coming together with NAPTIP, I believe that we'll achieve a lot.
It is expected that the collaboration with NAPTIP will go a long way in protecting the rights and dignity of womanhood and victims of sexual abuse in Nigeria. In Abuja, Ifeanyi Izumba, NTA News.
The National Chairman of the All Progressives Congress, Adams Oshomole, has condemned the attack on him and some guests at the convocation ceremony of the Edo University, Iyamo. The APC chairman regretted that such a gathering of intellectuals and academia was hijacked by some political thugs, thereby causing serious embarrassment to the state. He said a letter was earlier sent to the Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Adamu, and as such expects that the law enforcement agents will investigate the matter and bring those responsible to book. While apologizing to the concerned dignitaries, the APC chairman cautions desperate politicians to tread carefully and always put the love of the state above their personal interest. And participants at a workshop on micro-pension plan for Nigerians have advocated a policy and regulatory intervention that will help in bridging the gap in Nigeria's pension coverage for formal and informal sectors. Now, the workshop was at the instance of the Bureau for Public Service Reforms at Debola Brooksland Sunday. Tells us all about it.
Show that only about 11% of Nigerian workforce are formally covered
by the compulsory contributory pension scheme, leaving the larger population out of the cover. It is in a bid to achieve the pension industry strategic objective of covering workers in Nigeria that the micro pension plan was introduced to ensure about 85% reduction in old age poverty. For the two agencies, a collaborative and well-coordinated actions on pension inclusion of the informal sector will have a significant impact on the ability of every citizen to live a financially secured and dignified retirement.
I've exited the system, and somebody will be asking you to go back and reconcile your account. It's high time we review some of the reforms to check the problems that have been encountered by pensioners, pension fund administrators, even government.
The plan is designed in a way that informal contributor can open a retirement savings account with a pension fund administrator of his choice.
Towards having a future that you desire to have. So now, opportunity has been introduced through the macro pension plan for even those who are not monetarily covered by the pension scheme to make contributions on a voluntary basis towards having a sustainable old age income.
Adebola, Brooks Sunday, NTA News.
Now, the Federal Road Safety Corps has reacted to a number plate which issued with the wrong spelling, Chip Whip, which has gone viral instead of the correct spelling of Chief Whip to the Kano State House of Assembly. A statement by the Public Education Officer, BC Kazim, the Corps denied issuance of any such plate number, stating that it did not originate from any of the FRSA number plate production centers. The statement calls on members of the public to immediately report any act of illegality against all FRSA security documents, while assuring of the competence and the diligence of the Corps in carrying out all its requirements. Meanwhile, the Chief Whip of Kano State House of Assembly, Ayuba Durum, has denied ownership of the vehicle, the misspelled number plate that has gone viral on the social media. Ayuba Durum said neither the vehicle nor the number plate belonged to him, as the state government is yet to give official vehicles to members. And to other stories now, the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukurute, has formally flagged off Atilogu Udo 1 in Umuahia, the Abia State capital, assuring residents of the 5 eastern states that the program, which has been renamed Atilogu Udo, meaning Dance of Peace, from the original Python dance, is in their interest to tackle criminality. The Chief of Army Staff was represented by the Chief of Training and Operations, Army Headquarters, Major General Enobong Udo, said the exercise will be conducted simultaneously in Abia, Anambra, Ebonyi, Enugu, and Imo states. Here is Chidima Tasi with the rest of the story.
Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tuku Buratai, represented Atilogu, as the name implies, is a peaceful military operation to mitigate threats from criminal elements peculiar to the southeast.
These activities include free medical services, educational support activities, sanitation exercises, rehabilitation of identified dilapidated roads.
Abia State Governor Okezie Ibazu, represented by the Deputy Governor Ude Okochukwu, appealed to Abians in whose domain the exercise will be domiciled to cooperate.
We will appeal that as you carry on with this exercise, that Abians shouldn't be unnecessarily subjected to unnecessary molestation.
The exercise will promote a conducive environment for businesses and other socio-economic activities for where the Southeast region is known to thrive.
The exercise will last from the 1st of November to 23rd of December 2019 in the entire Southeast. In Umuahia, Chidema Tasie, NTA News.
And the Nigerian Army Artillery Corps has modified and developed several platforms to support ongoing internal security operations. This was highlighted at the closing of exercise Vulcan Glow 7 in Kachia, Kaduna State. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports.
A multi-barrel rocket launcher with the capacity of destroying vast and
distant enemy cell location. This and other vital platforms of the Nigerian Army Artillery Corps were at 2019 Volcan Glow firepower demonstration. The exercise introduced 5 years ago is an annual training session that is focused on improving troop knowledge of artillery asset preparation, deployment and tactics to enhance timely and effective firepower delivery during operations.
I am optimistic that the Nigerian Army Corps of Artillery's input will make positive impact in the overall quest to develop the much desired military industrial complex for the nation as envisioned by our President, Commander-in-Chief, President Muhammadu Buhari.
Some newly remodified artillery assets were also test run at the event. 2019 exercise Volcan provided a platform for the Corps of Artillery to showcase its latest support to the ongoing counter-insurgency operations in the Northeast. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tukur Buratai, also performed the groundbreaking for the construction of accommodation for staff and students of the Nigerian Army School of Artillery and inspected ongoing projects. From Kachia in Kaduna State, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
And the Air Force ATF of Operation Lafia Dole has destroyed an Islamic State of West African province ISWAP terrorist hideout and neutralized some of their fighters on the fringes of the Lake Chad in the northern part of Borno State. In a statement by NAV Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Ibikunle Daramola, this was accomplished through air strikes conducted on the 1st and 2nd of November 2019, sequel to intelligence reports indicating that the terrorists were using the settlement as a staging area to launch attacks against forces. Accordingly, the Air Task Force scrambled fighter jets to attack the location, recording successful strikes to immobilize ISWAP vehicles spotted under some trees, as well as the destruction of some terrorist structures and neutralization of some of their fighters. And a bit of sports now. In line with the Nigerian Television Authority's vision and mission to promote excellence, the NTA Uyo has honored the winner of ETV National Children's Art and Science Technology Expo 2019. We'll bring you this report just before. Let's quickly take this one. Junior tennis players from the Southwest and South-South dominated the 19th edition of the NNPC Chevron Junior Tennis Masters, which held recently at the Lagos Lawn Tennis Club. Adiola Omokive reports that more than 1,000 students attended the final of the competition.
NNPC Chevron partnership has continued to discover budding talents from the grassroots with a view to growing them for superstardom. For 3 months, the sponsors went round zones of the country training young Nigerians in the game of tennis. In the end, over 1,500 children underwent the training process, after which the very best were selected for the competition. The competition, which was in the age categories of 12 and 16 for boys and girls, saw Nene Yakubu of Lagos overcoming a late set to defeat Favor Amechi of Port Harcourt 10-7, 8-10, 10-3. In the boys 12 and under category, Sheung Ogunshakin of Ekiti beat Silas Isaac of Lagos 7-10, 10-5, 10-8 to emerge champion. Tennis action continued with the girls 16 and under. Rebecca Ekpenyong, the defending champion from Akwa Ibom, beat Ekiti's Jesu Toyosi Adeosi 12-10, 10-12, 10-3. The final match decided was between Daniel Adeleye and David Ekpenyong in the boys 16 and under. It ended in favor of Daniel Adeleye, winning 10-7, 11-13, 10-4. Chairman Managing Director, Chevron Nigeria, and the NNPC representative commended the dexterity of the players and the standard of the competition.
We want to develop the youth in Nigeria and make sure that they have an outlet to show their skills and continue to develop.
Sports is a key thing. For every day, it brings togetherness, it brings unity.
If their talent is in tennis, we should be able to make sure that we harness that talent.
64 children who participated in the championship all received gifts.
It made me to improve more. My target is Grand Slam.
In Lagos, Adeola Omokivie, NTA News. Adeola Omokivie.
Let's join Amazi Marcus now for sports update.
After 5 months of waiting, the 2019-2020 season of the Nigeria Professional Football League kicked off on Sunday with 8 of 10 matches that produced 15 goals with 3 draws. Heartland lost by a lone goal at home to Mountain on Fire Ministries of Lagos, while Plateau United of Jos recorded the highest margin of victory 3-1 against Lobby Stars. The Enugu Rangers Sunshine Stars match and the second between Nasarawa United and Eyimba International are postponed due to the continental engagements of Eyimba and Rangers. At the FIFA Under-17 World Cup in Brazil, Senegal lost by a lone goal to Japan, while Netherlands ensured the ouster of USA with a 4-0 victory. Brazil, Angola, Nigeria, Ecuador, France, South Korea, Japan and Senegal have so far automatically qualified to the round of 16 based on their results in the group matches. Round of 16 matches kick off on Tuesday. Meanwhile,
we will concentrate on athletes training and retraining.
In tennis, the second Puma Engineering Wheelchair Tennis Open ended Saturday at the Package B section of the Moshood Abiola National Stadium, Abuja, with Nigeria sweeping all the available titles in the singles and doubles.
I'm glad with the development it is bringing to Nigeria and indeed Africa.
A total of 28 players from 4 African countries, including Nigeria, participated in the 5-day tournament. With sports update, Amazi Marcus, NTA News.
All right, time to check on Monday's weather forecast for across the country. And that ends the news from Abuja. I'll hand you over to Becky in Lagos. That will be after the commercial break.
Papa Scholastic, now what are you doing? Emeka, drive the limousine Bugatti, come inside now. Glow 200 naira recharge card.
200 naira. Just charge 200 naira for 1 day, and you say fit follow for the hundreds of heavy price like a can of pepper. Industrial sewing machine, grinding machine, and generator. Glow, my own done better.
My grinder will go win. Now here I go put up. Make
Hey, make una no go recharge you na Glow. I don't win generator, and here na myself. Oh,
the more you recharge, the more your chance, the better.
like say the bread don't take time finish.
Push! Oh! When they're supposed to buy for they will not buy. You look, you still that same 200 for you will still buy.
Get to 200. Make I put your usual abi.
Yes, but you go add 888. Join now.
It's a big level.
Is it not 200 you give that lady?
Now 888 is that.
888 now the new AWOOF. Recharge star 888 star pin hash to enjoy 5 times AWOOF from MTN to call any network. You fit also enjoy them on top VTU. Just ask your vendor for AWOOF for you.
Conductor, where my other machine?
Office man, you don't forget money self.
Oh, forget. You go even hide 888. Join that shit. Give us change.
The Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Boss Mustafa, invites select directorate senior level officers of the ministry, departments and agencies to the first phase of a 3-day intensive training program on cabinet documentation and processing for enhanced service delivery. Theme: capacity building on policy management processes and cabinet documentation for enhanced service delivery. Training objective: to strengthen the skills of directorate and senior level officers of the ministries, departments and agencies in the area of policy management, including preparing and processing of council documents. The training is scheduled to hold as follows. Date: November 9th, 2019. Time: 9 a.m. daily. Venue: Center for Management Development, CMD, Shangisha, Lagos State. All participants are expected to arrive on Friday, November 8, 2019 for induction ceremony at 3 p.m. Attendance is strictly by invitation. Announcer: Babatunde Lawal, Permanent Secretary, Cabinet Affairs Office, Office of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation.
We're still following the story of Anu Balogun, accident victim with an injury that has kept her away from school for 2 years now. Jennifer Igwe, who is on the story, says there is hope for Anu, but the same cannot be said about her neighborhood, plagued with flooding and other environmental challenges.
14-year-old Anu Balogun's visit to the doctor had to be rescheduled because of the challenges of flooding in her neighborhood. In case you're wondering why Newsline didn't take the initiative of driving her to the hospital, well, these visuals will probably help you understand our challenge. The second time we visited the neighborhood, our vehicle got stuck in a muddy path and a lorry had to tow it out. Another time we journeyed to the area, water from the flooded neighborhood affected our bus engine and it packed up. The hiccup notwithstanding, Newsline is determined to get Anu's leg treated and ensure she returns to school. An account has been opened in her name and we are hopeful all who indicated interest to assist her and more concerned Nigerians will sow into it. Already, some good Samaritans have made donations. The Tukro Foundation, for instance, traveled from Kaduna to NTA headquarters in Abuja to personally hand over their love gifts, a wheelchair and a sum of 20,000 naira. It was received by the Executive Director News, Mohammed Labo, and Director News, Halima Musa, on behalf of the NTA management. All that have been received have been handed over to Anu and her aged grandmother.
We hope and pray this will help her in carrying out her ambition.
NTA will always continue to assist the less privileged. NTA will be there for people that need help in line with the government's efforts towards alleviating the suffering of the less privileged.
While the sad narrative of Anu's predicament is receiving a gradual makeover for good, her neighborhood is still bedeviled with environmental challenges. Mudslide is a dilemma this neighborhood in Magodo is vulnerable to because of its topography and soil texture. Another conspicuous problem is flooding because of its closeness to the Ogun River. The situation is compounded by poor urban planning and ignored safety rules in building construction. Some of the structures in the state government's Magodo housing scheme up the hill contravene setback law. In land use, this is a minimum distance needed for safety. So because structures have been erected on the mud wall, chances of them caving in is inevitable. It has happened on 2 separate occasions. Lives have been lost, some injured, and property down the drain. Part of this house, built on the fringe of the hill wall, caved in and collapsed on a building below, killing 4 people. But there are signs that more will cave in. After the disaster on October 12, where 4 people died, the state government issued demolition notices to residents, mostly those in the Valley area. Many of the affected residents have lived in the neighborhood for years now and are appealing that the state government considers other options than outright demolition.
They were there 4 years ago when the one came down. 4 people died. And the neighbor by his side, they were warned to leave that place. The person who lost 4 people 4 years ago left that environment. The one that lost this time around refused to leave.
Anu, her aged grandmother, and others in the community are affected and are keeping their fingers crossed for possible intervention or favorable solution.
Good job, Jennifer, and expect more updates on Anu and that peculiar terrain of Magodo. Now, the police in Kwara State recently raided a rehabilitation center in the Ga Odota area of Ilorin, describing it as an illegal detention camp. During the raid, 108 inmates of the center were taken into custody, and investigations on the activities of the owner are ongoing. Abdullahi Elewetu reports on the aftermath of the operations and reactions by parents of the rescued inmates.
The owner of an Islamic institution located at Ga Odota area of Ilorin, Alhaji Abdurrahim Owotutu, who was suspected to be operating an illegal detention camp in his residence, was arrested and detained alongside some of the people under his care. He is alleged to be subjecting some of the inmates to torture.
Right now, what we are doing with the rescued victim is to invite the parents. We'll interview the parents. Some of them will release the children back to them. Some of them that we know cannot adequately take care of these children, the government will come to assist them. Then with the suspects that we arrested, the perpetrators of the illegal detention camp, are going to be arraigned very soon.
This is the residence of Alhaji Rahimi Owotutu, who was alleged to have been operating an illegal detention camp in Ga Odota area of Ilorin. Surprisingly, NTA News observed that a group of children were on ground learning the Islamic knowledge.
But who is Alhaji Abdurrahim Owotutu, and how does he come by these inmates in his so-called rehabilitation center?
I have known Alhaji Owotutu for a long time. I know him as an honest Islamic cleric, and people bring their children and words for rehabilitation.
I
took my son to him because he was stubborn, but today he is better and happily married.
I took my son to him to learn Islamic education, and today he is doing fine and adding value to the society.
We are just living near in the house, so I don't know. But they used to do Islamic study there. But I don't used to enter their house, so I don't know what they are doing inside.
Some of us are stubborn, some are cultists, some are arrogant. They bring us here to learn Arabic.
There are many Islamic centers across the state and the country, just as tradomedical homes, where people patronize for the care of their loved one. Ilorin has a high record of drug abuse and mental impairment among the youth. The National Human Rights Commission recently told the federal government to cause the closure of what it called illegal detention camps across the country. The clampdown on these traditional rehabilitation centers may be the implementation
Well, the case continues, and if need be, we will update you. Now, they are easily identified by their features. Due to ignorance, a lot of people tend to avoid them. However, some kind-hearted individuals go out of their way to adopt them. Annie Daniels will tell us more about this special group of people.
Shade Olusende, Omotayo Bakari, Tola Makinde, they are all mothers. The birth of their babies made the society, especially close relatives and in-laws, despise them. And that was because they had children with Down syndrome.
It was after giving birth to her, I realized the neck wasn't standing very well. I took her to the hospital when they made me know that she had Down syndrome.
What you get is people talking at you and saying that your baby is useless, your baby is an imbecile, your baby is an idiot, you know. A lot of things. Sometimes they think it's the cause of the mother.
They still believe the most of the children are cursed. I see them, they start chaining them, beat them with brooms and everything, tell them to confess. And at the end of the day, that the children has nothing to confess.
Tola Makinde recently saved a child living with Down syndrome, whose mother could not stand the insults from the society. Tola went a step further, adopting some of these children and encouraging other mothers. These are some children living with Down syndrome on the dance floor. And guess what? They already have very tall dreams.
I like to dance ballet. I like to sing. I like to talk by the phone.
I am bold. I am fearless. I can be anything I want to be.
Now, check them out on the runway.
Some of them are actually models already. Someone like Mayowa is actually a model. So they were excited, you know, seeing their new clothes.
This is why these mothers have gone a step further to change the narrative.
Down syndrome is just like an error in cell division. If you get help on time, there's really no magic that can happen, and there's no way the child will be able to, you know, cope early in life. So we're saying that therapy is good for them. You should not make them learn the way you want them to learn. You make them learn the way they want to learn. You understand them. If you understand them, that is when you enjoy teaching them.
Don't leave them behind. The moment you notice a difference in them, let them start. We have speech therapists for these children. We have people that teach them how to work with their hands. If you do this at the early stage, they can become innocent.
We always of Nigeria, and we are important to the upliftment of our country.
For people with Down syndrome, administering adequate medical care on them will see Nigerians competing favorably with world-class entertainers and entrepreneurs.
Wow, children with Down syndrome can live a near normal life. We just have to shower them with love and attention. Moving on, they lay the foundation upon which the pillars of society is built, yet only a few remember to reward them in return. No wonder they say a teacher's reward is in heaven. Uchechukwu Chibueze Idam spoke with a cross-section of the public in Ebonyi State about the plight of teachers, and the varied responses are contained in this next report.
The journey to becoming successful in different professions all begins with such dreams. And so, make these beautiful dreams a reality. The children, in most cases, are enrolled in school and are left under the care of the teachers who educate, groom, and even parent them away from home.
What we have now is health education. Say it. Health education.
Once the parents drop them outside the gate, I know it's my duty to take care of them to the end of the day. And as I'm taking care of them, I know they are my children. And I will give them the best and deliver more that I know.
Almost every good deed gets rewarded. But for the teachers, apart from government, hardly do members of the society look their way. Or have you ever gone back to your primary or secondary school teachers to show appreciation? Do you even still remember their names?
Question you asked me now just brought me a very big shame because I have not been able to do that.
I'm somehow guilty. I have not really one day decided to look for my teachers to appreciate them.
I don't even remember most of them again.
How does it feel to only see or hear of the fame and success stories of those you once nurtured and trained without being remembered?
Every time they say that teachers' reward is in heaven, what type of heaven? Have you ever seen any person going to heaven and come back and say that they have been rewarded? We assume that after teaching all giving the children the stuff we have on earth, that they will help us.
Have you admitted their guilt? One after the other, they made promises to change.
Imagine someone that just nurtured you from the beginning, your career progression, taught you how to follow things that made me what I am today. 20,000, 50,000, 100,000 cannot be enough.
Since you reminded me, I think I will do that.
Now that this thing, now your question has really opened my eyes, I think one of these days I'll find time.
So, I think that it is not a good thing that we have not been able to reach out to them.
What are you talking about? They should be paid more than the governor.
Are you guilty as well? If your answer is in the affirmative, the advice is for you to turn a new leaf and begin to show appreciation to those who deserve it, especially the teachers.
So we without teachers, I dare say they deserve more. Now this may sound unbelievable because it's a rare occurrence. Don't get anxious, it's not a bad news. The story is actually very heartwarming. A young man, Murtala Saleh Dandashir, who had his primary and secondary education in basic settings, has emerged the best graduating student ever from the Medical College of Ahmadu Bello University area. This genius clinched 12 prizes for his excellent academic record. Abdul Malik Hassan reports.
Dr. Murtala Saleh Dandashir was born on the 6th of August 1994 in an Ashiraki village of Kankara local government area of Katsina State, and the eighth born from a family of 20, pampered by his father who was a teacher. As a child, Dr. Murtala Saleh attended a private primary school in Malumfashi and a public science secondary school, Kankara local government area of Katsina State. He was faced with challenges before and during his pursuance of education due to financial constraints. In spite of all these, he graduated as the best student in his secondary school and managed to get admission in spite of all odds to study medicine.
When I got admission, I was very excited because I can't even call it a miracle, that admission I got. Because even the year that we were supposed to be admitted, they turned out that they will not offer medicine in ABU, that they have not resolved their issue with the Medical Dental Council of Nigeria.
Dr. Murtala Saleh graduated from Ahmad Bello University Zaria as the best medical student in July this year, where he received 13 awards to include Best in Anatomy, Chemical Pathology and Physiology, among others.
Medical school is not for brilliant people alone. It's for anybody that can dedicate his time to study. I'm a man that don't usually take decisions abruptly, but I'm very interested in serving my country.
Dr. Abubakar Usman has been a friend to Dr. Murtala Saleh for about 8 years, described him as a man of focus.
Since before I knew him, I tried to have interest to be his friend. He doesn't joke with academics. He teaches students. If you have problem, Murtala is ever ready to put you to.
The family of Saleh Murtala said they feel elated on hearing the heartwarming news.
I cannot even have a word to explain my happiness and joyfulness towards his success.
The Provost College of Medical Services, Ahmad Bello University Zaria, Professor Abdullahi Jibril Randawa, says the school has been producing students with great performance, but that of Murtala Saleh was the first of its kind.
Became the best of the graduates. People always like to identify with success, but everybody identifies with him, including myself. And the college is proud of him.
Once he has an automatic employment wherever he wishes. If he's wishing to stay, so we are always happy to enroll him.
I'm actually a good model for other junior students to follow.
Such was the story of the genius Murtala Saleh, an indigene of Katsina State.
An outstanding genius. Congrats to him. That was a great first part, wouldn't you agree? Let's pause here for a break. The program returns shortly.
I should be on golden accessories. I shall do bad. But it's not too early to be dressed. Too early. Sure. And I guess I was okay. You think I go miss all the small shop? I don't know rishi. Mommy. She be not that take a caterer when they come out, they get side me on the thing. And as for my women group, hey, not KSA or nothing at all.
Now when you get out?
You're familiar, Jerry. My picking.
Mommy, your credit still there, so?
Of course now. Now we the first credit like water. You not trust Glow?
Glow and Maple. Get 5 times your recharge to call all networks. Recharge with *555*PIN#.
You want to know where the party they shall let? Start here.
Glow Unlimited.
Darling, what's the matter? It's your birthday. Guests are already waiting at the pool.
It's headache, cold, pains all over my body.
Cold Time Anti-Cold Tablet and powerful ingredients specially prepared to bring you fast relief from headache, body ache, cough, flu, cold, and fever. Baby, how are you feeling now?
Wow, I feel great thanks to Cold Time Tablet.
Cold Time Tablet also available in syrup for children. If symptoms persist after 3 days, consult your doctor. Cold Time Anti-Cold Tablet, a quality product from Embassy Pharmaceutical and Chemicals Limited. Cold Time Anti-Cold Tablet, your visa to...
How far can you go? When your village is connected to the global village, you go. When 30 million people have a bank in their pocket, they go. When 560 million of us can plug into a high-speed digital highway, we go. When you can use technology to teach where books can't reach, we all go. When over 5 million people have a job to do, and 4 million small businesses can make it big, they go. When you're driven by the unstoppable spirit of Africa, you go. They say if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together. We're good together. Everywhere you go, MTN.
Son, being good at something requires strength. It requires pushing yourself. It requires putting in more. That's why the new improved Bornvita is packed with vitality and great taste.
Welcome back. The ancient city of Daura stood still when the Emir of Daura, Turban, Mr. President's nephew, Alhaji Musa Haro, as a Dan Madami Daura. Hawal Haliru has details of the majestic event.
Saying goes, a young man that washes his hands clean will sit and dine on the table of honor with the elders. Such is the case with Musa Haro, who is found worthy by the people of Daura to be appointed to one of the highest positions in the Daura Emirate Council, Dam Madami Daura.
The Dam Madami is a title, is a princely title of the Daura Emirate Council. It's conferred to somebody who served his people, somebody who cares for his people, for somebody who has lived the lives of his people, that touched the lives of Daura people.
All this thing in terms for education, the homeless, even the deceased persons in the hospitals and so on, considering the farmers as well. He has done a lot in contributing, lifting their lives. But this is now for life. And to show him we have appreciated, I want him to do more.
Born in 1975, Musa Haro is said to have an identity of high moral values and dedication to humanitarian service. His late father, Haro Lamido, was regarded as being among the most respected Daurawa, and the mother, Ajiya Rekia Damu Damba Valley. is the direct elder sister of President Muhammadu Buhari.
Impeccable record, person of good character or conduct. He is very traditional to the core, very enterprising. He supports the downtrodden people of this part of the state. And I know him to be a man of honor and dignity. And his pedigree and bloodline is such that he deserves this Damada Mindora and more.
The banning ceremony attracts so many dignitaries, including Vice President Yemi Osinbajo, some members of the National Assembly led by the Senate President Ahmed Lawan, ministers and top government functionaries. And in his remark, Emir Umar Farouk Umar commends the president for being father to all and working harmoniously with other arms of government towards a greater and better nation. And the vice president, the monarch, referred to him as a loyal and committed person to the president and the vision of having a better nation.
I'm very grateful. I'm so excited. Vice President, I thank you very much for the Vice President. I thank you very much, and God bless all of you.
Well, the man we are honoring today, Alhaji Musa Aro, is such a very young man, but someone who has really served his people and counted worthy, and is also described as a bridge builder, promoting peace and unity amongst Nigerians.
To Alhaji Aro on his turbaning. Moving on, Nigeria Gas Association, the apex organization representing numerous key players in the nation's natural gas value chain, has rolled out the drums in celebration of 20 years of unbridled service and valuable contributions to the gas industry in Nigeria. Joy Ken Abakboya, who was at the event in Lagos, tells us more.
Was that of glitz, glamour and grandeur as West Africa's most prominent natural gas industry leaders, government officials and captains of industry came together to celebrate a milestone with enthralling entertainment, high networking and recognitions. From upstream exploration production, downstream processing and transportation, to power generation, distribution, and providing investment opportunities, all pointers to the fact that the Nigeria Gas Association has made tremendous impact on Nigeria through the gas value chain in the past 20 years.
So we've grown tremendously from the old collegiate organization to an industry-wide organization.
President of the association says NGA has remained a strong voice for the country in the global market, championing the advocacy for natural gas as fuel of choice and ensuring the right policy reforms for the industry.
So it's been 20 years of effort. Now, it hasn't been without its challenges, but quite frankly, we have so much to celebrate.
It was also a payback time for members and partners for their contributions, exemplary leadership and stewardship.
The beauty of NGA is the professionalism they have also brought about in managing the association. Our expectation is that in the next 20 years, there would have been significant transformation of the country using natural gas as a catalyst for development.
A Lifetime Achievement Award for Outstanding Leadership and Excellence was presented to the founding president of the association, Gaius Obaseki. The event was brought to a crescendo with a riveting performance by Nigeria's finest music arts.
And 20 hearty cheers to the association. On the 19th day of October, all roads led to Ife for the installation ceremony of Sir Kensington Adebukola Adebutu as the Odole of Odua by the Ooni of Ife. The event, which was broadcast live on NTA, was well attended by the high and mighty in the society. Najaatu Tijani reports.
People from far and near gather to witness the stalwart's installation as Odole Odua, the fourth person ever to hold this revered title. The holder of the title is expected to act as a close ally of the Oni for effective coordination of affairs of Onirisha. Sir Adebutu's humanitarian causes, described as cutting across cultures, made him the man of choice for the title, previously held by Chief Obafemi Awolowo and Chief G.O.K. Ajayi.
He deserves it. So we are very happy for Sir Kensington Adebutu. My advice for him to rest more because the entire Yoruba nation and Nigeria needs him more.
President Buhari represented charged Sir Adebutu to fulfill the requirements of his office and promote the culture and heritage of his people.
So when there's a challenge that the new Odole must confront and solve by endowing a share of knowledge.
Odole Odua is a special office designed from time immemorial for the purpose of assisting the Oni in rallying the people of Oduduwa for unity, peace and progress.
And I will not hesitate to do that.
It is expected that this philanthropist, the Odole Odua, will rally not only the Odua people, but people of all nations' global campaign for peace.
Congratulations to Sir Adebutu on his installation. A genuine smile is usually contagious. Those who go out of their way to elicit smiles from others are considered emotionally generous. Now, when the desire to make others smile becomes a corporate initiative, the outcome is worth talking about. Joshua Ojitu, who has been working through the avenue of 1,000 smiles with Maltina, will share some of the happy scenes with us.
It's another day of hustle in Abuja. Different faces, different challenges and aspirations as the struggle for life continues. Naomi David, a mother of two, is one out of many faces I came across, and she works with the sanitation unit of Wuse Market. She derives pleasure doing her job, and that puts smiles on her face in spite of daunting challenges of life.
Even as I day, I not get house, I not get anything. I know say my children go get her tomorrow. Nothing past God. I believe that anything strong is going to good tomorrow.
This is what Maltina is championing through its 1,000 Smiles campaign that seeks to promote happy life among Nigerians. It's fun and adventurous as the Maltina Smiles team inject its dose of happiness and conviviality around the country, changing moods from a frown to a grin, grimace to a chuckle.
Sometimes one can be happy because of things happening around you. Sometimes when you think back and you reflect on what you have achieved so far, you have the guts to laugh. Sometimes you just sit down, something that happens in the past, you just remember, you laugh, you understand?
It is a concept which recaptures that funny bubble neighbor determined to jolt you out of your low spirits and give you a second wind of vitality.
Taking Maltina, you feel happy all the time. You keep on thanking God, and it's a nice drink. It's very, very rich in calcium and so many things.
The Maltina view is optimistic, brave and truckling from a brand that takes its lifeblood from its general acceptance as a nourisher.
The whole idea is this: as a family, we are happier if we go together as a family, if we share stories as a family, and we have a drink that could be taken by an adult, a child, a toddler. It's not age specific. As long as you can drink liquid, it should be Maltina. And what Maltina is saying is, regardless of what life throws at you, always look for that little reason why you have to smile.
This time it says, share happiness, and with each share will, it is leading a smiling trend.
Thank you very much.
Nice concept there by Mortina. Next up, the people of Benin, Edo State, have been celebrating with their king, Omonoba Nedu Ukuakbolokbolo, His Royal Majesty Ewari II, on the 3rd anniversary of his coronation, which also coincided with his birthday. Ogochukwuka Ona reports on the colorful ceremonies and the achievements of the Benin monarch.
It's with 20th October. It is their monarch's birthday. And coincidentally, they visited the world when he was crowned the 40th Oba of Benin. 3 years on the throne, they rolled out the drums, joined with other royal fathers across the country, diplomats, government functionaries, politicians, captains of industry, heads of government agencies, and ethnic groups to celebrate with him. The celebrant is happy for the love shown him. The monarch's reign has been hinged on the royal crest with the inscription, Amamie's son Aimiwa, meaning no pain, no gain, a constant reminder to the subjects and residents that there is reward in dignity and selfless service to humanity.
We are celebrating because this is 2 years thrown in office. We pray that God should continue to give our Royal Majesty Oba Ewuwa II more godhead, more grace, more wisdom to lead Edo State to the promised land.
He carried everybody along, whether you are in Benin or not in Benin.
To make sure, say yes, Edo State can come. We appreciate him.
He don't try, not be small. Even for all those people, all those killing of 18, everything don't reduce.
Our monarchy is our pride. Our monarchy is the essence of the Benin nation and the Edo nation. So we are very glad of his ancestry. We're very glad of his heritage.
Congratulations to the Omonoba. May his reign be long and peaceful. Meanwhile, when the National Festival of Arts and Culture holds in Benin, it fires up the undying cultural spirit of the Edo people. And for 7 days, the overall ambience of the ancient city invoked the spirit of the ancestors. Mr. Rugo, who captured one of the nights of the week-long festival, reports.
Benin, magnificent and extensive. To scholars of history, Benin always conjures up pictures of culture and ancient civilization. Time does not alter these values in Benin, it refines them. So, when the National Festival of Arts and Culture, NAFEST, comes to Benin, it turns out to be a celebration of culture in a home of culture. The spectacle is heartwarming, the participation reinforcing the unifying power of arts. Nigeria is for one speaking with one voice and in one entity. There are several defining moments during this festival. They are all spellbinding. There is among them one good night. It may perhaps be a coincidence, it may well be deliberate, but fittingly, NAFEST 2019 in Benin is built in the image and likeness of the Oba. It coincides with the 3 years anniversary on the throne and with his birthday. Many of the events of the festival were in fact fashioned to rejoice with him. On this particular night, the Oba obliged NAFEST to be at Oba Akindwa Cultural Center. It is not too often people see the Oba of Benin. When they do, however, they should better enjoy the moment. I did. I got out with one thing from this hall. When Nigeria is celebrating culture, the world must pay respect. Activities of the night were breathtaking, to say the least. To say the truth, the Oba and his entourage were no less so true. 3 sublime girls were seated on the left of the Oba, enough to cheer his mood should any event be dull. There were dedicated court musicians in the hall and outside too. They provide relentless entertainment while the Oba is seated. They only stop when the formal programs are on session. The events of the night were a celebration of Nigerian arts. The Oba was treated to an exquisite fashion parade. It depicts made in Nigerian fabrics and the immense sartorial possibilities, beauty, elegance and fitness they offer. In many ways, NIFES has found within its channels to promote not only culture and art, but enterprise and patriotism as well. It insists that Nigerian fabrics has a stamp of quality, appeal and beauty, and should be celebrated. There are 2 categories of the fashion parade. Children are involved, and definitely the grown-ups. There was dance drama presentation too. This woman knows how to put in an appearance. She's young, vibrant, defiant, and dancer. With a clenched fist and determined heart, she emboldened the spirit of womanhood and challenges women to assert themselves. Crucially, she is an epitome of Nigerian woman in her hairdo, her dress sense, and the energy of her pursuits. The festival goes well into the night, but the Oba must go home. In his royal splendor, he starts home, happily hosted by Nigeria's people of culture, even as he is a symbol of culture himself. And in all, it was a brilliant night of culture.
Brilliant coverage by Hamisu. I'm sure you enjoyed it. Another break is on cue. Please stay tuned.
Igboro na sharp guy. Igboro na wise guy. Igboro they code everybody. Igboro they feel funky. Igboro na smart guy. Anywhere he they go, he they shine eye. Igboro no they slago. Igboro is very connected. Igboro they judge everybody, and they know they trust anybody. Igboro they look everybody like say them be suspect. Nobody wanna trust nobody, but everybody.
Don't be like him. Free your mind with Airtel Smart Talk and enjoy calls to all networks at a flat rate of 11 kobo per second. 7 naira fee on the first call of the day applies. Dial *315# to join.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Your information is important, just like your identity. Now the only sources than ever before. Some of the news and information given are fake, unverified, doctored, and manufactured to create confusion, stir disaffection, and cause unity. Before you believe or share any news, ask yourself, is this real? Is it from a credible source? Is it verified or verifiable? Fake news is dangerous. Whether you do it for fun or for political gains, real people can get hurt. Fake news, don't create it, don't spread it.
This is a public service announcement from NTA.
You can follow us on all our social media platforms: Facebook at NTA Network News, Instagram at NTA Network, Twitter at NTA News Now, YouTube at NTA News Online. All visit www.nta.ng. For live streaming, visit www.nta.ng/live. Now, you can stay updated on the go, be it on your TV, iPhone, laptop, or iPad, or download the NTA mobile application from your Play Store or App Store. NTA NTA, you can beat the rich.
The bond of friendship continued to wax strong among members of Bariwa College Old Boys Association Zaria. In addition, commitment to their alma mater was in full display when they met recently in Abuja for their annual reunion and recognition awards ceremony. Olabode Arawa brings the highlights. Olabode.
Present in this all are old students of one of the premier institutions in northern Nigeria, the Bariwa College Zaria. Among them are notable elder statesmen, military officers, industrialists, top civil servants, and other decision makers. Since their exit from the school, the alumni meetings have remained a platform for the old boys of Bariwa College Zaria to share experiences and exchange matters. Some notable alumni of the school include former head of state General Yakubu Gowon and the Sultan of Sokoto, Muhammad Saad Abubakar.
That school meant a lot to us, and that we're going to ensure that we uphold it.
This year, the Alumni Association is giving awards of recognition to outstanding members who have been pillars of support to the school. The 89-year-old Professor Emeritus Umar Shehu, the first indigenous principal J.O. Jabi, and the Minister of Defense General Bashir Magashi.
Whenever or wherever you attend school, definitely you must be part of the development of that school.
This is the institution that has produced 5 head of states.
The event was not only for whining and dining, as the Alumni Association also held a discourse on the nation's security and the responsibility of its citizens.
I implore on the governments at all levels, set up think tank, fish out the relevant portions of what we need to do as a nation, and advise the government.
With their side set preparations for the school centenary celebrations in 2021, members of Bariwa Old Boys Association remain grateful of the positive impact of the school on their lives.
Events promoting the culture of savings among Nigerians and keeping to promises, as well as ensuring the substance of a vibrant banking system, are some of its core mandates. And now more attention is being shifted to providing security for business owners at the Trade Fair Complex in Lagos. Wondering who this individual or organization might be? Well, keep on guessing as I give way to Abolade Salami to fill us in.
Fidelity Bank PLC, a first-tier financial institution with strong customer base and a performing loan book over the years, has continued to put smiles on customers' faces with its various class of banking products. The customer-friendly bank, with branches spread across the country, has once again kept to its promise made to traders in the Trade Fair Complex. Managing Director of Fidelity Bank PLC, Nnamdi Okonkwo, in his interaction with traders, noted that the bank observed the peculiarities of the market and decided to assist with the provision of 3 security vehicles to the 3 stations to aid patrol within the premises.
We realized that security was a challenge, and part of the problem those markets had was the issue of a security patrol vehicle. We did make a promise that we're going to support them with that, and what we just done this morning is present those vehicles to facilitate their security arrangements in various markets.
It's our own humble way of showing our appreciation and giving back to you the confidence you have in our bank all these years. Our relationship has gone a long way back, but every now and then we have to rejig it. So we're rejigging it again to make sure we get to the next level of it.
The bank focus at growing small businesses, management of Fidelity said, resulted in the introduction of a product where traders can access loan without collateral.
Just by the guarantee of the Market Association that if any one of them defaults, then we'll all come together and persuade the person to live up to his obligations to the bank. So with that, we are supporting directly their businesses.
The traders who could not hide their feelings expressed gratitude to the bank with an assurance to do more business with Fidelity.
You can see a brand, a security kiosk
with the amount that is involved for business. In fact, we only play for them that they will continue growing from strength to strength. And before 1 year or 2 years, we have something to pay back to show that appreciation.
Fidelity Bank PLC, which maintains a large network of interconnected branches in Nigeria, has 774 automated teller machine points.
Another noble gesture by bank. Another noble gesture by Fidelity Bank. Next up, it was accolades all the way at the 14th convocation ceremony of Bowen University, when 23-year-old Tuboisia Ibama emerged the best graduating student with a cumulative grade point average of 4.95. He was honored alongside the president of the African Development Bank, Dr. Akinwumi Adesina, who bagged the only honorary doctorate degree at the event. Alabi captured some of the exciting high points for Newsline.
From the maiden convocation in November 2006 to the 14th edition in 2019, the 18-year-old faith-based university has produced a total of 12,838 graduates who have become change agents in a technology-driven world. The institution's core values, which are excellence, godliness, and leadership, have become a motivating factor for students to achieve high academic standards the university celebrates year in, year out. Tuboisia Ibama is a 23-year-old Kalabari from Rivers State and the first born.
And what you know, the man himself is back from prolonged vacation. Hello, great to see you. It's been ages. I'm great.
I went to see if we could help them clear the rice in Seme.
Oh, really?
Because Christmas is coming.
Oh, yeah.
But we're ready, and I'm happy. I missed you guys. I missed you.
Really? What did you bring? What did you bring? Nothing as usual.
No. We brought rice.